Hi everyone, Alan from Newlands Nursery, and this is today's 5-Minute Friday. We did a video last week about my 5 top tips for watering, and I promised we were going to give you a super tip, a super hack if you like. And you can use this for so many plants. The fact that I'm planting a chili is absolutely fine, but you could use it for all your bedding plants, you can use it for tomatoes, and traditionally a lot of people will use it for the fruiting plants that will often need a lot more water, but not always the case. You can do it for anything. So what I'm going to do is plant this chili up, and then we're going to put this pot in here to give it its own little reservoir of water. Now I'm doing this at the early stage. It's the best stage to do it when you're potting up a plant, but you can, if you're really careful, if you've planted up your tomatoes already, just very lightly dig in there, try not to disturb too many roots, and you can put a pot in. This is quite a big pot as well, so if you're concerned about it, then don't worry too much, just use a slightly smaller pot. One thing I've done is, if you don't think you can do this, and this is a tip for any pot, is I haven't filled the compost up all the way to the top. That in itself creates a little reservoir of water. You'll see, especially when a plant has slightly dried out, when you water that, the water just sits on the level. So if you've got a little reservoir of water here, or reservoir of gap here, then it really does help. If you fill your compost all the way to the top, and I know if you've watched any of my videos, you've heard me say this before, often the water just goes off the side, which is no use to anyone. So I'm going to pop this chili plant up, give the roots a bit of a squeeze, and plant this exactly as I would normally. Just make a hole about the same size as the root ball and just plant that in. So when you're planting a plant, don't really shove it down. We're not planting a tree here, just lightly press it down. I think that's quite hard to see on video, but I'm not ramming it down, just lightly putting it in. Then I get this pot, which is the same as that. I could have used that one, couldn't I? So just make a hole next to it, just like that, and pop that plant in, just like that. Just sort of push it in. You end up with something that looks a bit weird, basically, but the reality is this plant is going to grow up like here, across here, and you won't even see this over time. But what it means is, when you water, if you water into here, that is a direct route to the roots for the water, and it means the water goes straight under the surface. So we're reducing the amount of evaporation we're getting, and you're getting more water to the roots, which is exactly what we want. It's good for water preservation as well. Now I've done it with a pot. If you're doing a big plant like a bamboo, I've done it with a bamboo. So if you're planting a big bamboo for your garden, get a bit of drain pipe and put that in exactly the same, and then you can water into that drain pipe and it goes straight to the roots. It really does help, especially if you're having to plant in the really hot months. So it is absolutely ideal. So if you've got any questions about this, or you want any more tips, just get in contact. We're here to help. See you soon.